Welcome, designers! Today we're going to be creating an image collage using Adobe Photoshop. In this collage, you'll be highlighting some of your favorite things using images that you've collected from the copyright-free stock photo sites I linked for you on Canvas, and using the selection tools you guys have been learning about recently in class. To get started, we're going to click Create New. And I know that I'm going to view the final product of this collage in print, so I'm going to select the print preset. And then from the blank document presets, I'm going to select tabloid. Tabloid basically refers to a large sheet of paper, which is roughly about the size of 2 letter-sized pieces of paper. I'm going to leave all these default settings exactly the same. If you know you want to play around with a horizontal orientation, you might select the horizontal orientation, but I'm going to leave it at vertical. And I'm just going to go and title this document Collage, and I'm going to click Create again. So now I basically have to go and start dragging all of the images that I want to use here. My Layers panel is closed, so I'm going to open it up. And I think what I'm going to do is start off with some kind of background color that I can then go and blend some of the different textured images that I downloaded from pexels.com. So I'm going to create a color layer by going to the bottom of my Layers panel, and I'm going to select this little icon that looks like a yin and yang symbol. And I'm going to select Solid Color. And I know that I want to play around with some pinks and violets, so for now, I'm just going to go and select maybe a violet color. And the cool thing about creating a color fill layer is that you can always double click on the color swatch in the Layers panel. And if you change your mind later on, you can always change it. It's a really great way to work non-destructively when you're working in Photoshop. But I digress. Let's start working with some of the images that we downloaded already. So I'm going to go to File and Open so I can view some of the images. I collected all my images in a folder called Pics. So I'll basically start dragging one by one into Photoshop so I can edit it. I know I wanted to create a background using some paint textures that I downloaded. In case you were wondering, I'm basically going to focus on my love of dogs, flowers, and painting and candy for this collage. You guys can focus on any theme that you want to. But I know that I want to create some really interesting paint textures in the background to kind of communicate my love for painting. So I downloaded this really beautiful image of a watercolor effect. So I'm opening that up. And now what I'm going to do is split my screen. I'll also show you another way to transfer images over shortly. But in class, I've taught you to go to Window, Arrange, and tile vertically so that you can work with a split screen. And what I'm going to do is select my Move tool. Should already be selected by default. Looks like a little compass. Click on the image of the watercolor and transfer it over to that background. Now you might be thinking, well, why did you create a purple background if you're just going to use this image? But what I'm going to do is actually use my blend modes so I can blend the watercolor with the purple. Before I do that, I'm just going to go and close out this tab because I no longer need it. I already transferred the image over. And now I'm just going to go and try to find an interesting area. I think I'll just leave it as is because I like these kind of stains in the image. And then I'm going to go to my blend modes, and I think I'm going to go and select the luminosity blend mode that I was working with earlier, so I can kind of mix the stain with the color underneath it. To further that effect, I'll actually go and lower the opacity a little bit on this watercolor image, so you can see how the color is becoming a lot more prevalent. I think I'm going to leave the opacity at 75%. Because I really like how that is working out. Now, if I change my mind later on and I change the color to, let's say, bright red, you would see how, because I have that opacity set at 75, then blend mode set to luminosity, it still creates that really interesting watercolor effect in that different color. But I'm going to go back to the purple and pink for the moment. And I'm going to leave that be. I'll actually go and double click on the layer just so I know exactly what I'm referring to. Anytime that I refer to these layers, I'll just double click and name it watercolor. And now I'm going to start opening up some more images. I want to create a second texture, and I had downloaded this image of, basically it looks like paint marks, and I want to use it for a very similar purpose, basically blend it into the background. You guys don't necessarily need to start with a background, that's just how I wanted to approach my collage today. One way is, of course, to go and window, arrange, and tile vertically so that you can go and transfer the image over. Another way that I'm going to show you, let me open that image back up again because I deleted it by mistake. So another way to transfer the image over to this separate tab would be to hit Control A on your keyboard, A like apple, then Control C like cat, flip over to the document you're working on, so my collage document, and hit Control V like victory to then transfer the image over. You can do it either way. That's just a way that is a little bit faster for me. So what I want to do again is I want to name this layer. I'm going to call it paint texture. And I want to blend paint texture using a blend mode. I think I'm going to use multiply, and you can see how multiply goes and tries to basically eliminate the whites in the initial layer right here, so that all I see is basically that the texture of the paint, and that really appeals to me. So I'm going to leave it be for a few minutes and start working on some other images. Notice that I close out my tabs as I use them. So I think now I'm actually going to open up this picture of the sunflowers. And when I'm done with the sunflowers, I'll just close it out because it'll help me to keep my workspace kind of clean, if you will, and it'll prevent me from getting confused as I'm opening up further images. To select the sunflower, you can see it's a complex object because it has all these differently shaped petals and then of course the leaves. But I'm going to try to assist myself using the quick selection tool. So I'm going to go to tool number 4 and I'm going to select quick selection. If it's not already selected, you can right click and see all the tools that are nested there. And then in the options bar, I'm going to click select subject and wait for Photoshop to process my selection. Photoshop is basically going to try to figure out what is the subject matter in this photo and select that for you. So just be patient, it's working. Okay, so it did a fairly decent job, but it did select some areas that I wasn't really interested in. For example, I didn't want the second butterfly and I didn't want these leaves. So what I'll do is with quick selection selected, I'm going to go into the options bar and increase my brush size. You can see how tiny it is. As I drag over the document, you can see like how big it's getting. So I don't want to add to the selection. Instead, I want to subtract from it. So I'm going to hold down Alt, and you can see when I hold down Alt, the cursor turns into a minus. And then I'm going to basically delete the areas from my selection that I don't want. So I hold down Alt and drag, and then I can go and subtract, not delete, the areas in the selection that don't appeal to me because I just want to focus on this main sunflower. Now that I selected it, I can transfer it over. So you can do it either way that I've shown you, either doing the split screen by going to Window, Arrange, and Tile vertically, or using the shortcuts that I taught you earlier. I'll be using a combination of those in this video. So I'm just clicking and dragging the sunflower selection over. And I know I wanted the sunflowers to be pretty prevalent in the top here because I have an idea in my head that I'm going to make it look like I'm painting the sunflower. I'm done with the sunflower image, so I'm going to close it out and then open up my other images. So I had an image of someone painting, and what struck me about the image was that they were painting with the color yellow, so I wanted it to seem like I was painting the sunflower in the collage. So once again, in order to select the hand and the paintbrush, I'm going to use the quick selection tool, and I'm going to select subject in the options bar and let Photoshop process my selection. And you can see it did a fairly decent job, but I did want to get more yellow color. So with the quick selection tool still selected, I'm just going to go and click inside of the yellow to try to add to that selection. I'm going to hold down Alt to delete other areas, like right here, the red, and then just fix up the selection a little more. So now I'm going to transfer it over using that series of shortcuts I taught you. So Control A would be to select all, but in this case, I'm not going to do that because I don't want to select the whole image. I just want the paintbrush and the image, the paintbrush and the paint, I'm sorry. So I'm going to hold down Control C to copy the selection, flip over to my collage in progress here, and Control V like victory to transfer my selection over. Now I want to go and rotate the image using edit and free transform, and I'm just going to go and drag at the corners because I want it to look like the hand is painting the flower in. I want to avoid this. A lot of students will do this, by the way, where it kind of looks like the image was cut off. Please avoid that as much as possible. You can either resize the image or kind of try to hide it by putting it in a corner, but avoid at all costs having an image that looks like it's been cut off. Like having a hand that looks like it's been cut off, for example. That just looks really tacky. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go back to free transform, and I'm going to try to resize the image, making it a little bit bigger so that I can try to avoid that from happening. Okay. So far, I really like that. I'm just going to go and add, I think, 2 more images. So I'm going to get rid of this selection here, and I no longer need it. And I'm going to go to File and Open, and I have a picture of a dog that I've been dying to use. This dog reminds me of my baby Hazel. So I'm going to use this image of the dog to represent my love for Hazel. And I'm going to use the quick selection tool and click select subject, and again wait for Photoshop to process the selection. By the way, you are by no means required to keep using quick selection the way I have been. You can use any selection tool you like from the ones I taught you. I just happen to like quick selection a lot, so that's the one I'm using. Now I'm just going to go Control C, flip over to my collage document, Control V, and unfortunately it looks like the image is a little bit small, and I don't want it to kind of hug the corners because then it would leave a lot of negative space unoccupied, and that looks weird. So what I'm going to do is just kind of resize the image of the dog using free transform, just holding down on the corners as I drag until it takes up a little bit more space and it looks a little bit cleaner, at least to me. I think I'll actually rotate the sunflower. A lot of making a collage or any kind of image is just trying things out, and if it doesn't work, you just kind of try again until it looks correct to you. It looks like appealing. No, that doesn't look good. I'm just going to leave it the way it was, I guess. So Control Z is my best friend whenever I make a mistake and I need to fix it. Okay, I think I like that better. All right, I do have one last image of gummy bears or gummy worms or something yummy like that. So I'm going to see if I can integrate it. And if it doesn't work out, you're not forced to use the image whatsoever. I think I'm just going to go and drag the whole image over because selecting each of these would be a nightmare. And now I want the image to kind of appear here on this corner, but it's kind of cutting into the sunflower. So I'm just going to go and drag, I'm going to call it candy, drag that candy layer and just kind of move around that stacking order. And now what I might want to do is play around with some of those blend modes like I was using before, so you can still see the paint swatches underneath. And if it doesn't work out, then I can do without. It's not a big deal, because I have a lot of different images here already. Please don't be afraid to play around with the stacking order. Don't be afraid to get rid of images that just aren't working, because you're not required to use them. Alright, I gotta say, I really love my collage so far. I think it looks really exceptional. I love how I still have a lot of negative space, but it looks like it has a really good composition. And I think I'm ready to save my final draft. I know for sure I'm going to want to print this collage. So what I'll do is I'm going to save my final draft in PDF format. PDF is basically the standard for any project that you're going to print. So I'm going to go to File and Save As. I'm going to save on my computer. And then under Save As Type, I'm going to make sure I select Photoshop PDF. Please don't confuse it with PSD. PSD would be like my in-progress file if I wasn't done and I had to go back to this project on another date. So select Photoshop PDF, and then I'm just going to call it, let's say, Final Collage, and click Save. I'll click OK. And now it's telling me how I want to go and save this PDF. I'm not really interested in these settings right now, so I'll just click Save PDF, Yes, and wait for it to process. You can see in the tab itself, it tells you what percentage it has saved in. If you haven't done so before, like during class or at some point when you had to pause the video, definitely save a PSD file as well in your flash drives or in your OneDrive account so that you can go back to it in the event that you have to make changes. So for example, if I suggest you on your project rubric to fix your selection on any given object, it would be fantastic if you had that PSD file to go back to so you didn't have to start the project over again. Alright, so I see it has been saved successfully. I'm just going to save my PSD file again in the event that I need to make any changes. And I'll be submitting the PDF draft to Canvas for my final grade. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hit me up if you have any questions, and I can't wait to see your own beautiful collage designs.